I chat GPT'd us, Drinks with the Girls.
Shut up. You did not.
I did.
I can't wait to hear this. It says, if you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s and looking for real-life stories, laughs, empathy, and empowerment, Drinks with the Girls is like having two trusted friends inviting you onto their virtual couch. Hallelujah.
Yes. ChatGPT knows exactly what we've been trying to do. This is incredible.
ChatGPT really likes us. It really does.
When we get comments from people saying, you guys are just so relatable, I feel like I'm just sitting in my kitchen, shooting the shit with you. For me, those kinds of messages and reviews are gold.
So let's pull the curtain on this one.
Down and dirty. Here we go.
We're going to give you a peek at our analytics. We're going to tell you our top 3 episodes and our bottom 3 sucker episodes. Can you guess what they are?
Welcome to Drinks with the Girls. Conversations for women over 40 around connection, change, and the power of female friendship. Living well with stories to tell. I'm Karen, and this is Lisa.
We are moms and solopreneurs stepping into our own, diving into real conversations about things that matter to women in midlife.
We're here to spill the tea on everything that affects women in their 40s and beyond. Topics like loss and grief, changing relationships, launching kids, menopause, and reinventing ourselves in midlife. We are here to tackle it all.
Connect with us through a blend of our lived experiences, our friendship, the memory of our moms, plus a collection of real stories, honest conversations, and engaging interviews that will make women over 40 feel seen and remind them that they're not alone on this journey called life. Let's go.
Welcome back to another episode of Drinks with the Girls. We are so excited you are here with us today because can you even believe we are celebrating our 1-year birthday / anniversary, whatever.
Whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it, we are here for it. It's been 1 year, and we are here to take you behind the scenes of our past Drinks with the Girls year, what we nailed and what was a flop, and what we're really proud of.
All of the nitty gritty.
All of the details.
So this is not your average highlight reel, we promise, right? We're going to talk about our messy middle, our stuttering start, magical moments, what it really looked like to show up for ourselves and you over the past year. But first, let's talk about what we're drinking. So I am double fisting my healthy drink that I am trying to make myself finish by the end of the day. So it is a Arbonne special with green synergy elixir in there, all sorts of probiotics and goodness, and a blood orange fizz stick. And then I am, I'm on this quest to find like non-alcoholic yummies. And tonight I am drinking a Popwell Blackberry Lime. It is a prebiotic flavored soda, and it's quite refreshing. How about you, love? What are you drinking?
Well, I am no longer on the quest to find alcohol-free alternatives. So I am drinking my standby, which I keep in my little which I left open, by the way.
Oops.
My refrigerator in my office. My Vino Disco boxed wine rosé.
Break
Cheers.
In case of emergency refrigerator.
Exactly. Yes.
Nice.
So this is an exciting episode because we have actually been coming to you every week for 1 freaking year. And we are proud of ourselves. We are so honored that you've been with us. And I'm actually kind of getting goosebumps right now. Like this is a big freaking deal.
Yeah. I mean, when we talked about, like, we've been celebrating a lot lately because, it's a party.
Why not?
When we talk, words are so hard. When we did our 50th episode, we talked a little about how we were both like, okay, let's just give this a shot. Like, hello. Is this thing on? And, that we just kind of kept going. And I'm I'm proud of ourselves for a lot of reasons, but that we were able to be consistent about this because I know that when I've listened to what else podcasts about podcasting, that's a big thing with people is it's tough for them to be consistent. And we seem to have gotten down a rhythm. One of our goals with this was to be consistent, but also not have it take over our lives. I definitely think we have an advantage with the two of us, but we've fumbled along the way and figured it out. And we're constantly kind of refining that process. But that was a commitment that we made to each other, that we were going to allow for emergencies, stuff that came up, vacations, all that. And both of us have had situations where, like, 5 minutes before we're supposed, and guests too, hey, major crap just went down. I can't do it. Fine, right?
Yeah, we definitely have some business systems in place that help us be consistent and keep showing up every week. But also, I think that the special sauce, secret sauce, the secret sauce
Secret special
is
sauce, the
the secret
SSS.
special sauce is being accountable to each other. Because I feel like if you're doing it solo, it's way easier to just say, oh, yeah, shit just went down in my life. I'm not going to record for 3 weeks. So I think being
It's true.
accountable to each other has really been helpful and helped us stay consistent. And the side benefit is you guys love it. You love, check out our 5-star reviews. You love our banter. You love what we talk about. You love our back and forth. You love our story about us coming together because of our mothers. So there's a lot of things that have gone into making this podcast what it is. And we are so excited that you, the listeners, have just been like in the passenger seat the whole time.
Yeah. And there's also been, this is a work in progress, right? Like, there's been some stuff, and we'll talk about that in a minute, that we're like, yes, this rocks. This is going to be so great. And as Karen loves to do the sound effect, it was like, wah, wah, wah. It did not go down the way we thought it was. And conversely, stuff that we were like, yeah, I think this will be good, just like off the charts. So yeah, so why don't we start there? Karen, what do you think was your personally most impactful episode? And I'm cheating by asking you this question first because I don't know if I can narrow it down, to be honest.
Okay, so I've been reflecting on this because I knew we were going to talk about this today. And honestly, remembering 52 episodes, it took me a minute. I had to remind myself of, where we started and what we've talked about. And I have to say, this was one of our most recent ones, and it was the episode on friendship, because I think it really was impactful because and I think you and I both made the same comment. It's like, oh, I'm really kind of diving into some stuff right now. Like, I think it brought up some stuff for both of us about friendships, that we've had that, we really kind of had to look at. So for me, I think that was one of the really impactful ones. And also, this is ironic because this is one of our least best episodes, but as our episode on gratitude, because it just showed me that, you know what, we're going to show up messy. We're going to do it. I don't know, listeners, just little recap. We had a whole script planned. The script sounded like bullshit.
It was
so
awful.
It just impacted me in that we just went with our gut. We went off the cuff. And it didn't really land for you guys, which, by the way, we want to know why. But it just helped me build a little bit of confidence. Like, you know what? This is our podcast. And guess what? We get to do what we want.
No, I agree. And I think that was a very freeing moment for me, too, because I was like, we can do this. Like, we got this. I also think that for me, at least, there was this like, okay, Karen's my homie. Like, she's been there forever. But, we have not been in each other's lives that closely recently, up until like the last couple years. And so I went into it knowing that I trusted her, we could do this. But I think that I was always in the back of my mind a little nervous that, like, how far would that take us, right? Like, how the chemistry piece and how would we be able to do that? And, like, turns out not a problem. I think, honestly, for me, one of the most impactful episodes was our introduction and just kind of really kind of memorializing our origin story with our moms and all that. It really just, like, having that down and out, it kicked off the podcast, but just really, I guess just the act of memorializing it was really, really powerful for me. I'm trying to think of, there's just been so many. I can't even, I think when we started having guests on, that was super cool. People, like, now we have publicists that are reaching out to schedule guests with us. And that was like, that never occurred to us, right? We were like, oh yeah, let's call our friends and have on the podcast. So once that started happening, which I think, I'm trying to remember who our first guest was that was booked by a publicist, that was really impactful for me because I was like, oh my gosh, our message is getting out.
I think it was Amy Daughters.
I think you're right. Yeah. Like, that message is getting out there, like, yay, like, we're landing with people. So that was super cool. So, okay, next rapid fire, right? Wild card moment, like unexpected surprise, twist, hilarious fail. I'm trying to I mean, there were so many of them where we were just like, what in the world? And thank God for editing. I'm trying to I don't know if I can think of one. I actually I have a warrant moment, unexpected surprise. So we're gonna talk about this a little bit, but like so we're animal girls, right? And we're like, yay, let's talk about how we like animals and chickens and blah 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 blah. And oh, we could call it our animal addiction. Like that's such a freaking good idea. Except that got us marked explicit, and I'm pretty sure got us banned in a bunch of places just for that episode. So who knows if you guys have even seen it, because who knows if like the filters have gotten to it. But I thought that was actually a hilarious fail in a lot of ways, personally.
Hey there, I'm Lisa Coricella McDowell, your midlife Pacific Northwest princess, here to guide you in the art of next leveling your life. I'm passionate about women's health and wellness in midlife, especially for moms parenting kids with unique needs like I do. I truly believe we can learn, grow, advocate, and care for the planet while taking care of ourselves and our families, and I'd love to help you do the same. Plus, I'm beyond excited to announce the launch of my new membership, the Empowered Parent Collective, this March. It's a space for parents to confidently advocate for their kids, build inclusive communities, educate themselves, and find balance and support along the way. To find out more about the Empowered Parent Collective, my classes, wellness offerings, parenting tips, advocacy resources, and exclusive Drinks with the Girls goodies, head to nextlevellifewithlisa.com. Let's survive and thrive in the messy middle together. Cheers!
How about you?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a wild card moment. I feel like because of our personalities, we kind of set things up to be
Every
pretty,
day is a wild
like
card.
exactly. But
Woohoo!
I mean, we pretty much plan for anything and also are here for the pivot if need be.
Yeah.
I think a wild card, like to what you said earlier, is like having people reach out to us and say, "Hey, here are these, amazing women and we think they'd be really great on your podcast," and us being discerning and choosing who really is, we have to really think about, well, who is our listener going to want to really listen to? We don't just take anybody. We've had to say no to some people. And I mean, I not that that's a wild card moment, but I think that was something I wasn't quite ready for. Like I didn't expect.
Yeah, for sure. Are you going to ask me what surprised me most?
What surprised you most?
I think what surprised me most is how much our relationship has just like slotted into things so naturally. And what I mean by that is it's like I look forward to doing this every week. Like it is not like, oh God, time to record the podcast, right? Like it's our chance to
Same.
connect with each other, connect with our listeners. And I was talking to a friend this weekend about just everything that's going on politically and just the crazy shit that's going on in the world right now. And I said, I work for an educational company. I do things, to make a living that I can't always like be out there on social media about my personal opinions. And, it is what it is. But I still want to fight the good fight, put my money where my mouth is, and do something to make the world a better place. And I was like, that's the podcast. For me, this is that commitment to, okay, I'm going to show up and make the world a better place. And the fact that I have that scheduled every week really, really feels good to me. So that was surprising, I think. How about you?
I love that. I'm just really sinking into that. That's incredible. I just think, and this is not a surprise, but oftentimes I reflect on what our moms would be thinking about this and what they like. I just feel like they are just, they have my mom has her cheap white Chablis on ice, and she's cheersing Renee, and maybe Renee has a glass of wine too, because I know
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I think she does. I really do, because like I said
Right?
before, like she was over there in the dark side at the end there. So
Yeah. Right, exactly. So she
Yeah.
was like opening up to that. So I just envision them cheersing and, just thinking about how tickled they are that you and I have come back together
Mhm.
and really developed this friendship and also created something pretty special, to put out into the world. And that makes me happy.
Yeah. Then I feel close to them when we do it too. So I
Yes.
agree, Not that it's
Yeah.
like surprising, but I just think the depth of it is surprising to me. I thought it was like, oh, check, that's kind of cool. And yeah, I agree.
Well, yeah, I had no idea that it would make me feel like just all the things about my mom and my relationship with her and how I want her to see me and just all the things like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, Lisa, so what was your favorite interview? We've had some amazing guests, and I know it's going to be hard to pick and, definitely doesn't mean anything about the other interviews, but what
Yeah.
was your favorite conversation to have?
Man, there's been so many cool conversations and I mean, every interview that we do that I'm like, "Oh, yeah, this is gonna be great." Like, I know what we're gonna talk about. There's always some nugget or kernel that I come away with that surprised me and just kind of broadens my horizons, and I love that part. I think it's kinda cheating, but I think and we'll talk about this is kind of a spoiler alert, but the decluttering episode we did where we interviewed Natasha Kolmainen, that was impactful, let's put it that way. But for me personally, I just found it really spoke to me. Just that whole piece on decluttering that series was popular, and we're trying to come up with another topic, and I think we have some ideas, but I do think that it speaks to the head freaking trash that we at this point in our lives have physically, emotionally, like all of it, and just being okay with clearing all that out and not just holding everything so tight like a death grip. And I found it really freeing, and I think the listeners did too, and I really enjoyed it. But I mean, honestly, I can't think of a single episode where I was like, I didn't learn anything from this. Like I did from all of them. How about you?
Yeah, we had some amazing guests, like so good. All the guests who talked about menopause or HRT in some form, those were very powerful because I just love the idea of getting information out into women's hands, ears, whatever, that they may not know. But I'm with you. The decluttering episodes were even the one we just did ourselves before Natasha came on. The interview with her, very powerful and very reflective. Like, I had to look at some shit.
100%. Like she
Yes.
dropped the mic on stuff and she really
Yes.
did it from the heart. So yeah, no.
Yes.
Hi, Natasha.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So what about messages from listeners that you got in your DMs? Let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, there's been some from people that were just private, they texted me or emailed me or whatever, or I was just, hey, have you listened to the podcast yet? Kind of thing. That's been amazing. People we don't know doing that. And that has been, I think it's hard for me in a lot of ways 'cause when I'm like, oh, leave us a 5-star review. Like, I feel like I'm doing this, right? But it's really, I get it now. It's really about jacking that algorithm so that more women can get access to it, right? So it's not like I read those reviews and go, "Oh my god, I'm so awesome." It's just like, "Oh my gosh, people are getting something out of it." Like the message is getting across. People are picking up what we're dropping down, and that's the part that really excites me. How about you?
Okay, hold on. Because I chat GPT'd us, Drinks with the Girls.
Shut up. You did not.
I did.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this.
I'm trying to remember how did I even get there? Did you know how you get I don't know. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Wait a minute.
Rabbit holes. We love them. I'm just going to do it and see what it says. Okay, so the prompt I typed in is, what can you tell me about the Drinks with the Girls podcast? And I just put it in the new chat.
What did it say?
Okay, so it said, Drinks with the Girls is a weekly personal journals podcast hosted by Karen Chatafian and Lisa Corricello-Medell, two friends over 40 navigating life, blah, 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 blah. But here's what's interesting, right? So it just describes kind of what we do, but it says, in details, okay, why it's worth a listen. This is what I love. It's a safe, judgment-free space for midlife women. Oh my God, I could tear up. Offers a refreshing balance of real talk and gentle advice with humor and warmth. Promotes a sense of community. You'll feel seen as each episode addresses relatable midlife themes, and then it says where to find us, and it says if you're
Exactly.
It says if you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s and looking for real life stories, laughs, empathy, and empowerment, Drinks with the Girls is like having two trusted friends inviting you onto their virtual couch. Hallelujah.
Yes. So I don't even know how I came upon that, and I didn't get the same one. I got something different, but it was like relatable, safe, community.
Yeah.
And so I was like, Fuck yes, ChatGPT knows exactly what we've been trying to do. This is incredible.
ChatGPT really likes us. It really does.
My name is Karen Shatafian, and I am a shameless coffee addict and empowerment coach for women, and my love language is authenticity. My mission is helping women unapologetically design a life they're in love with. Because what the hell are we waiting for? My website, KarenShatafian.com, has all my coaching packages and free offers like my midlife reclamation guide. In it, you'll find tools to help you decide how to create the most inspired and empowered version of yourself and your life. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram talking about ways women can show up for themselves after decades of showing up for everyone else. Join me as we throw off the shackles and live our best freaking lives. See the show notes for all the details. Cheers.
Yes, like you, I've had people in my DMs telling me how much they are loving Drinks with the Girls. And that, of course, is just like, it's just like makes me so happy that what we set out to do is actually coming to fruition. And the fun thing that when I was trying to think about, what do I want to say for this episode, somehow, I was Googling some things and our ChatGPT perspective on Drinks with the Girls came up. And when I was reading it, it was like, oh my gosh, it gets us. It gets us. The thing that stuck with me was that it said we are relatable, that we are safe, that we are a community, and that we are a place that women over 40 can come and just bring all the things. And I just love also when we get comments from people saying, you guys are just so relatable. I feel like I'm just sitting in my kitchen, shooting the shit with you. For me, those kinds of messages and reviews are gold.
Yeah, and that's what finally led us to the title too. Like we've talked to you guys about like, oh my God, that was one of the hardest parts, right? But to really kind of drill that vibe in. Okay, so let's pull the curtain on this one because I find this so interesting, okay?
Down and dirty. Here we go.
Okay, so we're going to give you a peek at our analytics. We're going to tell you our top 3 episodes and our bottom 3 sucker episodes. Can you guess what they are? I bet you can't. Okay, so number 1, Karen, what was it? By a long shot.
Oh my gosh, our number 1 was Decluttering the Decades. Zen Your Den with Natasha Kolmainen.
Y'all blew that up. You loved it. And we talked a little bit about it before, and I think that I think it struck a nerve in a lot of people. So, okay. Number 2, and I don't necessarily find this one real surprising, was our first episode, our introduction. So I think a lot of people, find the podcast, are like, oh, okay, I'll listen to the introduction, right? But it's nice because, like, that's the crack that keeps people coming back. It's like they go to that intro episode, and then hopefully they keep listening. So, okay, number 3, what was it, Karen?
So number 3 surprised me because not surprised me in the topic because we all want to talk about this, but it surprised me that it was our episode, Menopause, True Lies, that was the 3rd most listened to episode because we've had some experts on talking about menopause and different things. And so I just love that our listeners just love you and I just talking about real talk about menopause and how it affects us, our views, our opinions. But that was a surprise to me.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting. The cynic in me says, okay, well, that was one of our earlier episodes, like a couple months in, so maybe that's why. But it'll be interesting when everything kind of calibrates.
That's like, a bad attitude.
I'm not saying it's Jesus, judgy. I'm just saying. Okay, so the fun part, our bottom 3. Now, again, spoiler alert, I will tell you that clearly we didn't do these and record these to be like, oh, these episodes are going to suck and nobody's going to watch them, right? Like one, for instance, was a listener requested episode. So that shocked the hell out of us. The other one we've talked about, so we'll kind of get into that in a minute. The third least downloaded episode of this year was our animal addiction, why we have animals we shouldn't. And I maintain what I said earlier. I think the label addiction got us blackballed. Like literally that big fat E showed up a few weeks later and I was like, are you, because, we go back and forth about, should we curse? Should we not curse? Like, what's the deal? Usually we end up just saying forking, right? Which I swear there's merch coming on that. So it's hilarious to me that we were trying to be all clean and fine. And oh no, we got like relegated to like the drug dealer episode. I don't know. I find that funny, actually.
Well, by the way, we had people coming and saying, look, you use the F word, so stop trying to censor yourself. So that's when we're just like, okay, where the shackles are off. We're just, our people want to hear it. So here it comes.
Doesn't matter anyways, because we're going to get censored for shit that we didn't even need to like put on the line anyway. So, okay, what was the second worst downloads?
Second worst was the one where we tried to talk about gratitude.
And here's
so
the
clearly
funny thing
it
about
didn't
that.
land.
I have gotten people that have been like, oh my God, that episode's hilarious, right? So it's interesting to me. So maybe like, I don't know why that is. That one's kind of interesting. So for those of you that you have
I have my opinions,
Okay.
which I've already told you, but I'll tell the listeners after we get to our third one too.
Okay. Worst episode, meaning not content-wise, but like least popular episode. And this shocks the shit out of us because it was a listener freaking requested episode, was bullying the new Game of Thrones. And we specifically got a request from a listener who wanted to talk about bullying in midlife, like social media, like all the things, right? So I'm actually fairly astounded that it did as badly as it did. So I'll be really interested, for those of you longtime listeners, if you go back and listen to those three, what you think. And I'm perfectly fine and be like, yeah, they were shit. Like, I have no problem with that. I'm just really curious as to why.
We want honest feedback. So where would be the best place? Let's see. Where should
Don't put it in a review.
No, not in a review, but why don't you put it in our DMs on Instagram or Facebook or email us?
Yeah. Yeah, no,
because we are genuinely interested, and it's okay. Whatever your honest feelings are, we want to know, because we just want to give you guys stuff that you want to hear.
Yeah.
My personal opinion, I have two opinions or two different thoughts about these three. Yes, only two. The first one is in early, 2025 or late 2024. I wasn't looking at it per se as a consumer, but now I look at it like, would I listen to this as a podcast consumer? And the animal one, probably not.
That's
like,
right.
I love animals.
You said that.
I love it. But I'm thinking, because Lisa and I have talked about the fact that, women, you guys, you don't have a lot of time. So do you want to spend 30 minutes listening to some other women talk about their animal addiction? Probably not. I don't. So I mean, totally
listen to us.
Real talk. But also here, I think the other thing is, this was before we got very deliberate about our titles. So I think,
true.
We want you to know exactly what you're going to get with our titles. And when we first started, we were just figuring it out. We're like, I don't know. Let's just, what sounds good to you?
Yeah.
But I think now we're way more deliberate with our titles. And so I think that might have something to do with it also.
I think so. Plus, getting shadow banned.
Okay, quick pause. Have we talked about the Pod Squad lately?
Oh, the Pod Squad. You mean our email list /VIP lounge /digital wine club?
Exactly. So listeners, if you're not on it yet, you're basically making life harder for yourself when it comes to podcasts.
Like trying to scroll for show notes while speed walking on a treadmill. Wait, what was that link again? Oh, no. Grab the side rails.
Or pulling up that book we mentioned while you're in the Starbucks line and then realizing everybody else moved up 3 cars and now you're that woman.
We've all been there. That's why we made the Pod Squad. You'll get new episode alerts every week with direct links. Easy to listen, easy to share.
And show notes straight to your inbox. So when we drop a life-changing product, book, hot tip, or yummy new drink, you're not rummaging through your memory like a woman searching for her reading glasses when they're on top of her head.
It's organized, it's helpful, it's for you, babes.
So join the Pod Squad. The link is in the show notes. Just tap it.
Snacks, sarcasm, solidarity.
And obviously, fighting the patriarchy.
We write at dawn.
But I mean, everybody has to start somewhere. Like, what's her name? Alex, Call Her Daddy.
Yeah,
right?
She's got a freaking documentary out there.
She does, and it's pretty good, I've heard. But she had to start somewhere. Like, her first episodes were not that great either. So we all have to start somewhere.
But I will be interested to hear, and I'm telling you, listeners, seriously, we can take it. Tell us, because I really do want to know, genuinely.
Yeah.
Was it
Be
us?
brutal.
Was it us? Did we suck? Or was it the topic, right? Because that is two very different reasons. And I'm just curious. Anyways, we've kind of belabored that a point. So let's
Nobody's going to be listening to this episode if they think we suck. It's the episode.
Okay.
It's not us.
Okay. All right.
We're fantastic.
It's not you, it's me. So I have a question for you. We talked a lot about different things and we're like, oh, I'm going to do that or hold us accountable or blah, blah, blah. So give me one thing that you did as a direct result of the podcast and saying something on air. And then one thing that you were wanting to do and it's like, oh, no, that didn't happen for whatever reason.
So I have been reflecting on a lot of the things that I said I was going to do. And I asked our listeners to keep me accountable on. And I don't think I did any of them.
Really? No, come on.
Really? No, seriously. Especially like decluttering. I was going to do so many things. I decluttered my laundry room closet. That's as far as I got. I did purge my email inbox because I had like 2,000 something emails.
Oh, I had like
got it down.
56,000. Are you kidding me?
Oh, geez. But now it's back up again. So yeah, I don't know. I think I don't think that there's anything that I did.
I'm going to call bullshit on that. That is absolutely 100% not true. Because the alcohol episode, which again, here's a little tidbit, y'all. So Karen was like, we got to talk about this. Like, this is serious. Like, then I was like, okay, all right. It's like, we gotta be accountable, like with her name. You guys hated it. Like, we have these graphs or episodes and they're all like, oh, this, that. And then it's like, wah, wah, wah. And she was like, midlife women, don't be prying that drink out of my cold, dead hands, people. But I am going to call bullshit because you have made a concerted effort to think about what's in your glass. And you're not just like, I mean, I know you have the box wine at the ready right now, but
it's called balance.
Yeah, I do think that you've made a concerted effort to push some boundaries there and think about it.
But that wasn't something that I said, okay, listeners, hold me accountable for this. That was just something I thought, you know what, our episode like made me think about it, which is what I love about our episodes is it makes women think, ourselves included. Yeah, full transparency. And I can sleep at night just fine. What about you? What have you publicly declared on this podcast?
Okay.
That you've done?
I am super, super proud to say that I leaned in hard to the decluttering, like hardcore. And to the point where my husband and I had a conversation where we were like, this is out of control. Like, we got to do something. And I got real with myself just in terms of my time and what needed to happen. And I haven't really dove into this, and this isn't going to be the time, but my husband has some pretty serious medical issues. And part of this condition that it's looking like he has is just executive function and organizing space. Like, it's really, really difficult for him. And we just had a real conversation about like, okay, we need to do this and there has to be a system because it's easier for him to follow a system, but he can't do it because he can't wrap his head around it. And I'm going 50,000 different directions and I don't. And we decided to budget some money that we weren't really sure we had to hire professional organizers. And it was pretty cool because when I put that out in the universe, I was like, oh my God, like, y'all, running a special needs household, it takes a special person to like come clean for us and like do all those things because it's like, I ain't got time for the judgment, right? Like, well, why don't your teenagers do this? Like, I don't have time. And it was, I swear to God, I put it out in the universe and within like 24 hours, I did a Google search and this company popped up, and I'll put their name in the show notes because they do virtual organizing and they specialize. Now, it's not all the business they do, but they specialize in helping families with special needs. And it was just
gosh.
I swear to God. And I was like, okay, the universe just served this up on a fat plate for me. So they're coming in about a month. And so I will talk to people about it because I've purged a lot of crap. I mean, I did the dump runs. It's like, it's still there, right? So I was like, okay, I need someone's help to like figure this all out. So I was super proud of myself on that one.
Yay!
And I mean, the other one's easy, like journaling, right? Like I'm still pushing myself. That's still a bugaboo. I'm proud of myself because I keep pushing myself to do it, even though it's super hard. So I definitely haven't like hit a goal where I'm like journaling every day, but Karen knows because like she's like my little accountability partner because I'm always like, I picked it up today. I cracked it open. I didn't lose it, right? But
Why don't you do this? How about we make a goal you journal once a week? How about that?
I think that would be a realistic goal for me. Thank you.
I think it's too much pressure.
No, it's too much. We always like to leave our listeners with some takeaways. So I think on this episode, instead of like, hey, these are our mantras, let's talk about what's coming next. I think doing teases for what's coming next would be good because we have some juicy stuff coming, y'all. So of the stuff we've got coming up, give me your top 3 things that you're excited that we're going to be talking about.
I think I need to pull up our list. Checks notes. Hold on.
Please pause.
Okay. Well, one I know for sure that I don't know that I'm excited to have the conversation, but we've literally been talking about it for a year and putting it off for a year because it is so activating for both of us. But it is the caregiving episode.
Yep.
Because Lisa and I both have fathers that are in their mid 80s and require a lot. And so we will be doing that episode, and
It's
think
like
that's
triggering just to even hear you talk about it, to be honest. So we're like, okay, we have to do it. We have to do it.
It's relevant. I just think it's relevant for all of us in the sandwich generation,
Yep.
right? We're going to be talking about moving past trauma, which I think is out of our wheelhouse, but we're going to have experts come in. I think we're going to be having 2 conversations actually about this, which I think is going to be so helpful for our peeps. How about you?
Okay, so there's a few. One of the ones that we're going to do around Halloween time that I think will be fun is all the weird shit that happens to your body in midlife and just bizarre crap, right? Y'all know what we're talking about. So that's going to be kind of a fun episode, I think. One of the episodes that I'm really excited about that it's going to be heavy, but I think it'll be a really, really cool one, is we are going to have on the show this incredible woman that I'm just so proud to call my friend. And we are going to have a conversation about what it's like to be a woman of color and how allyship may not be the best frame of reference to talk about how non-women of color can support, be part of that journey. So, that is a sticky topic for sure, but I'm excited because I had a pre-conversation with her the other day about kind of like how we're going to come about it. And I think, don't be afraid, listeners. This is going to be a really good conversation. I'm super excited after talking to her. So that's the other one. There's some other ones we're going to be doing about like the mental load and things like that. I think those are really good. And then there's another one that we're going to talk about. I read this article, and we'll put that in the show notes for that episode, but it talked about why 50 is the new 30, and the episode about like, what's all the cool parts of this, right? Like we've talked about the not so good parts or the parts that society like wants to bring us down about, but I'm excited about that one.
I reject that idea. Like, why is 30 better than 50?
Well,
Sorry.
okay, but it says, okay, so you're going to spoil the surprise. The title of the article is why 50 isn't the new 30, it's better.
Right. Well, we all know that, yo.
Yes.
But yes, I think that's going to be a good one for sure. I'm with you. That's been a little flashback down memory lane of the past year for Lisa and me and Drinks with the Girls. And we are so appreciative that you listeners have been with us. So we want to wrap up this episode with a closing toast because we thought that would be apropos. And I just want to say to every woman out there who has laughed with us, cried with us, or felt a little less alone because of these episodes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You are the reason we keep doing this.
Damn it.
Right? I know.
Damn it.
I know. So here's to another year of fun, of engaging episodes, of embracing aging, and living life to the freaking fullest, right? And fighting the damn patriarchy.
So for those
Cheers.
of you that aren't watching the YouTube version of this, like I just burst into tears naturally because it is like, it's just the fact that we're connecting people together is huge. So my toast is this community keeps me in the fight. Through this vehicle, I feel like I'm in the trenches fighting for midlife women to matter in this crazy world. This is my do something to make the world a better place commitment, and I am in it for the whole wild ride. Let's forking go, y'all.
Cheers.
Cheers.